And the way that I use the semantics is a relativist sense, but I don't buy into the semantics. It's going to be, sort of projecting on society.
That relativism is compatible with realism.
Wait, what do you mean by that? I mean, yeah, presumably, yeah, but I mean, I don't see
on the SCP page, they talk about like relativism. Sorry about that. They talk about relativism being like not something which entails interrealism. If you go to like the moral interrealism page of SCP, and they give like examples, so like give like indexical statements or statements which has like indexical elements, for example, which are relative to the speaker, obviously, but they are objective facts of the world. So like, for example, like Goons, the person, like if you were to say, for example, like let's say you were to be like in Europe, right, and you say, and you made the proposition, that's going to be like a true proposition independently of what anyone thinks, right? But that's just still a relative statement insofar as it is an indexical proposition.
Oh, yeah.
But if I made that same proposition, it's going to be false, right?
Yeah, but that's how I use the term, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but like, I was just pointing that out because it seems as if like your motivation for being an anti-realist is predicated on some sort of relativistic concept of like morality. Like you think like the moral terms or the moral concepts, which are reflected by the moral language, is going to be something which is relative to nature. Which brings me to the question, which is, if you believe this to be the case, if you believe this is going to be a strong motivation for being an anti-realist, then what's the reason for believing that like relativism is going to raise the probability of like anti-realism? Not saying that you believe this, by the way, but that's in case you believe that relativism is going to be something which is a strong motivation for being an anti-realist about ethics.
Oh, wait, I'm just saying that I use the term. I say when I'm saying something is wrong, I'm just saying something like this thing either does or doesn't, or it wouldn't align my preferences. And if you're asking why would this raise the probability of anti-realism, well, I'm actually unconvinced that it would raise the probability of anti-realism, but I'm just saying that's how I use the term.
So, do you think that so you think that semantic thesis is adequate to justify anti-realism, like subjectivism? Because you'd be a subjectivist if you adopt that position, by the way.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not saying no. I don't think that that's adequate. I think you can. And under my view, you can be a realist without accepting the sort of semantic thesis there.
Okay, so do you think that because one could argue that a minimal moral realist can agree with that, right? So you could argue that like your position is compatible with like some types of moral realism.
Are you talking about a relaxed realist?
Talking about a minimal form of moral realism.
Yeah, I assume that you're talking about relaxed realism. And then they would say it's compatible. Sure, yeah.
So, do you think like majority of people, like how would you explain the nature of moral disagreements, right? Like how, because like I think there was like some parody arguments, or not parody arguments, but like some arguments from Analogy from David Enoch, whereas he compares the conversations or discourses of sciences and the conversations of morality talks, and they say something like, well, given the nature of the disagreements, whereas it gives us this strong rational inclination that there's a fact of the matter, and it's not just mere, well, I desire this, no, I prefer this more than you, or something. Like that's going to be strong evidence in favor of the moral realist position, because the robust moral realist position can properly explain that data better than the anti-realist, who has to be committed to like some sort of like semantic thesis, or more specifically the subjectivist, right?
Yeah, I would just be unconvinced that it would be better explained under a realist account. And the reason I would be unconvinced of that is just because the way in which there's going to be a disagreement, I guess the causal, or at least under my view, like some hypothesis I have, is that this sort of like causal explanation for this will be something like, well, it's actually going to affect you in the real world, right? If you have some strong preference against your kid getting like his head axed off or whatever, because they're going to prevent a bunch of positive experiences with you and your kid or whatever, then presumably you're going to have a strong position, just in virtue of it being the case that it's going to actually affect your life in some great manner.
So what about cases where it is not affecting your life? Like, for example, a random kid like drowned into the river. You don't know the random kid. The random kid has no sort of like connections with you, right? And you saving or not saving the child is not going to necessarily benefit you like that, right? We still have the intuition in those cases
under me having
that it is
some
moral.
Yeah, that would just be explained under me having like some very, very strong preference against it. And so I'm not sure why a realist account would explain that any better.
So you're saying that you think that that intuition is explained by strong preferences, right? So you don't think like the intuition that something is like a proposition is true as it pertains to like some given phenomenon is going to be good evidence for the being an objective fact of the matter, right?
Yeah, I'm unconvinced of it being better explained under a realist hypothesis. But yeah, that's like broadly my my sort of meta-ethical position.
Just become an Arifera, it's so much easier. I'm not even that tired, I'm dragging.
Yes, like Goons, like you'd agree that like it's an objective fact that like you're speaking to me right now, right? Like that's just subjective.
Wait, sorry, what you cut out there. It's an objective fact that what?
Yeah, I'm asking you, like, do you agree like it's an objective fact that we're having the conversation?
Yeah, like I have high priors on that, yeah.
Yeah, so like the thing is like, if this proposition is justified fundamentally by some sort of like intuitive process, and we have a similar intuitive process, but in the case of like moralistic domains, right, of conversations or analysis, then what's going to be like the symmetry breaker really, which makes it the case that the intuitions would not be good evidence in the case of like moral realism, but intuition is good evidence in favor of like an externalist position of the world.
Yeah, I could actually just grant some principle like that. But my intuitions are just an anti-realist intuition. So that actually just sort of gives me private justification. It's like, yeah, I can say that my intuitions map onto reality. I have an anti-realist intuition, therefore I'm justified, unless there's some overriding evidence or whatever, and having an anti-realist.
So do you think it is true that killing is wrong then?
So I think it's true that killing is wrong, and let's just get clear here.
Yeah.
By killing is wrong, the way that I use that term is just saying that it doesn't align with my preferences. And so it would be true that it
That's
doesn't.
The way you're using this term. So like what? Yeah. So like what? So like what if the answer really, or the realist just says killing is wrong, and by wrongness I'm just referring to like that which does not maximize utility.
If a realist refers to wrong as that which does not maximize utility?
Because we can always use the term in preparatory senses and then just make it objective or subjective automatically. So that's just really trivial right there.
Yeah, well, there's like a meaning reference distinction too. It's like what we're referring to. Because we could be referring to, like, this is sense account. Sense account is that we're referring to like well-being in the world or whatever. And that's stance independent. But I'm just unconvinced of that.
So you're just saying that like you have the intuition to believe that you are referring to this.
Yeah, and a reason, or like I guess some induction for that would be what I said earlier. So, and then furthermore, what you said, like talking about some sort of phenomenal conservatism.
You understand the distinction between like the means by which you know the reference that's being talked about and a meaning analysis and so forth. Is you given like a semantic analysis?
Yeah, of course. But
because I think you're conflating. Sorry, I think that was unfair. I think you're conflating the semantical analysis of like certain definiendums you use in like a specific like moral claim and like the analysis of the reference, right?
Yeah, well, I'm conflating them. I mean I see those as different. Like, yeah, I see those as two different concepts.
Yeah, so like how does it follow from like you believe in that given some semantic thesis, this is going to be the indication of your metaphysical position on ethics, and the fact that this is actually the reference of these definiendums in moral language, in moral conversation.
Well,
like how it is already coextensive.
Yeah, that might serve as some like weak induction for me. But then further induction is what you said earlier, which is referencing like phenomenal conservatism. which is just that our intuitions like broadly map onto reality, and I have anti-realist and intuitions, and so I'm privately justified, given that there's nothing that overrides this.
But it seems as if the intuitions you're having is not about something about the world or some metaphysical claim, but it's about some semantic claim or some claim about their semantical scheme, right? So then one could just flip by the phenomenal. Hold on. One could just flip by the phenomenal conservative standard by saying that since you believe that intuitions broadly map onto reality, like intuitions about actual things like proposition stuff, like not about like intentional states, like what you're talking about, map onto reality, then more than likely you have the intuition that killing is wrong would be something which maps onto some objective feature of the world. But obviously the intuitions you're talking about here are like intuitions about semantical schemes or something like semantic intuitions, which isn't going to really correspond with the phenomenal conservatist notion you're going under, because one, the phenomenal conservatist notion that you're going under is about something more robust in nature than just something about intentional states of language.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't just have to do with intentional states. I'm like, my view is just that I'm projecting my.
No, I'm not saying that it just doesn't have to do. No, I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying that like the phenomenal conservative stance that you're holding, by the way, that stance. I'm saying that stance that is being referenced there is something which relates to like more robust claims than just claims about like what I think I mean by something or what I mean by this.
What do you mean by more robust there?
So like if I say that like the claim that you exist is like a claim of like which requires some sort of like ontological commitments, but the claim about like, let's say for example, what I mean by a specific linguistic token does not require any sort of like ontological commitment, because one can be a fictionalist about the property which is reflected by some given linguistic token that I have some sort of semantical analysis about, right?
Oh well, I just take the view that now recording that category. Oh shit.
But the intuition case would be something like the intuition, like inductive case would be something which works against your view, because the induction, like majority, if you look at the sample data, like majority of the things we have an intuition about that the phenomenal conservatives would be referring to would be things in relation to more robust claims or propositions than statements about like or semantical analysis of a given linguistic token.
No, that was my original critique of phenomenal conservatism. It's just that it backfires because all it is private justification. And I actually have that private justification because the way in which I have these intuitions are just anti-realist intuitions. It's not just the semantic account.
Okay, so you're actually not a phenomenal conservative.
No, that was serving as a critique.
But so what if someone just argued that applies to not exist from the get-go? How would you argue against that position?
But I could even grant, what I'm saying is I could even grant phenomenal conservatism.
So you're saying you can grant phenomenal conservatism, but you agree that granting that view is going to be like a view which actually hurts like the credibility or the justifiability of your position.
Oh, I don't grant that it. No, I don't grant that it does that. Do you have an argument for that?
Right. Just to be clear on this, you just said a while ago that the phenomenal conservative stance or view or argument, one could say, is something which is weak because it can work back onto the anti-realist, correct?
Sorry, but just to be clear, the claim that you made was that this phenomenal conservative account, if it were granted, would have something to do with like lowering the probability of my view. And so my question was,
I'm just quoting you about it. So I was just taking what you said into account a while ago. So are you saying this or were you not saying this? Because I'm pretty certain you were saying this, and I think this is on the board.
No, I definitely do not hold that view. But do you hold that view?
I'm agnostic on that specifically.
Okay.
So I want to get something clear. So you believe that the phenomenal conservative position is not something which can be backfired onto the anti-realist?
No. The point is just that the phenomenal conservative view, it serves as private justification, and that private justification can be levied out to me when my intuitions align with anti-realism.
Do you think that most cases of phenomenal conservative epistemology applies to private cases or public cases of propositions?
That's like some broader empirical claim. I'm agnostic towards that.
You're agnostic towards that, okay. So do you think like most beliefs we have are about like the external world or about our mental states?
The external world for sure. Well, wait. The most belief. Wait,
Okay.
hold on. Let's
Wait,
think
so
about
that means that, so hold on
Wait,
there
wait,
just a
wait. Let's
second,
think about
right?
that
So
for a
like if
second.
it is the case that, wait, you want to clarify something?
Yeah. Let's wait. So the majority ask the question again.
You said you just agreed, and this is, if you want to say that you're not agreeing with this, that's okay, right? But what you just essentially agreed with, by the way, is that the majority of beliefs that we have as mental agents is going to be something which is about the external.
Oh, I'm unconvinced of that.
You're unconvinced of that. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this conversation, how many claims were you? How many claims were related to what you're thinking, or just your like mental states, which are private?
How many claims in this?
Yeah, how many claims did you make in this debate or this conversation, which is not about the external world, and it's just strictly about your private states?
I haven't been. Well, I'm agnostic to that because I haven't been counting like every belief that I've had that is and counting in favor.
You can just have
my
like an
beliefs about
intuition. You don't have to give like a specific quantitative analysis, right?
Well, yeah. Well, since
So we can just go based on induction, given the sample data of this
taking the view that
conversation,
like
right?
the majority of the time we've been talking about my views, probably the majority.
But when you're talking about your views, you think you're correct. You think they're true, right?
Yeah, and but furthermore, that's going to be just.
You think that there can be truths. Just do you think that you think these truths are just like private facts, for example? They're not facts about like the external world.
Well, yeah. Let's just be clear. I'm just like largely agnostic on the empirics of this. And even if I like, let's just say I grant that in this specific conversation, I grant that the majority of claims are about the external world. Well, I'm not sure that actually gets you off the ground, or that would actually get me off of the agnostic position. That the majority of beliefs are about the external world or whatever. That's not going to get you off the ground under my view.
I think you're confused here because I'm not trying to use this to give myself a dialectical leverage insofar as moral realism is concerned. I'm just questioning your epistemic consistency. I just want to see if you're consistent, right?
Oh, well then, yeah, testing my consistency isn't really going to work because I'm just largely agnostic on this.
Well, it seemed as if you weren't initially largely agnostic, but then you realized like certain consequences, and then you're like, well, I'm just going to be agnostic, and that's okay, right?
Well, so, I mean, like, I can even grant that armchair. Like, I'll just grant the armchair psychology for this, but that wasn't the case. I just like further thought about it for like 10 more seconds, and I was like, well, that's an insane empirical claim that I think
10 more seconds is a bit too long to think about something like this, but that's okay. So I would say that like so given the fact that you were to like agree that like you're agnostic on the empirical claims or the empirical case as it pertains to like majority of your beliefs, that you actually have some sort of stance on being about the external world or not, that's okay. So I think that like your whole reason for like being like a moral subjectivist just boils down to like some just like trivial semantic thesis to which you agree is not adequate for.
Also, I'm being a moral subjectivist or justifying moral subjectivist.
You said you believe that moral claims, right, are reducible to our preferences or desires, and you said you're not a narrow theory.
Yeah, do you remember specifically what I said?
Of course, I just told you what he said.
No. There was a very, very vital claim in there that you left out, so I'm just wondering if you remember that.
Okay, do you understand that you believe that moral properties are identical to preferences?
Well, can you answer my question first?
I just did. I told you what you said.
No,
so could you answer my question?
No. I just told you missed out on something relevant.
Yes, I did answer your question, by the way. Of course I did.
Oh, no, you didn't, by the way.
I think you're really confused in this, so that's okay.
I think you're...
I think that, like, me telling you what your position is actually me answering your question.
Yeah.
Okay, can you nigga just... Bro, Goons, what do you miss, please?
Well, hold on. Let's just grant that I'm confused here. And then we'll just say this is skill-based matchmaking, right? So let's just clarify here that you don't actually remember what it is that I said.
I remember what you said. So I'll just tell you what you said.
Can you repeat it?
This? Okay.
Yeah, can you repeat
So what you actually said, by the way, hold on. Calm down. So what you said, by the way, and this is exemplified by the several case scenarios that you given on the table, was that you believe that moral statements, right? Things that moral statements are about are our desires and preferences, which are relative to the speaker. And that's why we went on this tangent. We went on a tangent about like relativism being compatible with realism, to which you agreed with, by the way. And then afterwards, you then agreed that some types of moral realism is compatible with your view. So to be clear in that, you're taking the moral properties which are reflected by moral language to be something which is strongly identical to the desire-related properties or preferences or instincts, one could say.
Yeah,
so that would entail subjectivism. Hold on. That would either entail subjectivism or minimal moral realism.
Yeah, so again, you missed it out. Do you want to try again?
That was not a miss out.
You couldn't think of the.
You think me accurately responded to your question by giving an accurate
what did I say about semantic? Wait, calm down. What did I say about the semantic thesis?
I'm calm right now. You're the one that's not calm. Stop trying to tone police me.
Oh god.
I mean, there are like several people can vouch for you saying this.
Wait, I just asked the question 2 times. Are you going to answer it?
I didn't hear the question. Maybe you bugged out.
Yeah, did you hear what I said about the semantic thesis?
Yep.
What was it?
The semantic thesis being that you believe that these moral properties are going to be something which means that I desire X, or I prefer to not do X.
So, wait, just to be clear, further, I don't think that there's
I think we're already being clear
to the matter that's going to be independent of the stance.
That's irrelevant to what we were talking about currently. I think your brain is struggling to keep up with
It's
the conversation.
irrelevant?
Of course it is irrelevant.
It's irrelevant
because we're trying to analyze your position.
Wait.
So talking about whatever stance that I have on metaethics is relevant to the analysis of your metaethical position.
Wait. What do you think?
What am I waiting on? Are you not tracking the conversation?
Yeah, for me to respond because you're a retard. Just calm down. What do you think the theses that compose minimal realism?
That's why I said they have to take like 10 seconds to think about the basic stuff like that.
Wait, calm down.
Yeah, calm down there, Chimp.
Yeah, run away, coward. Yeah. All right, so
I'm running by trying to give a response. I'm motivating you. I'm being a debate coach. Am I running away from the conversation? I'm coaching you. I'm trying to give a response.
So what do you think the theses are? Yeah, run away, retard. So what do you think the theses are that compose minimal realism? Notice how he literally can't let me get a sentence out.
You notice how you think that I'm running away even though I'm coaching you? That's like really like, I don't know, man. Just like really being dishonest.
Alright, you asked for I just want you to know you asked for this.
Look, I don't like this intellectual dishonesty going.
Alright, you asked for it. I'm letting you know that you're doing this to yourself.
Shinner, you're the only person loud micing. Calm down.
Oh, so
okay.
Goons, go ahead and give your response. Loud micing, can you get
Shinner, you are very loud. Okay, so Goons, give your response. Shinner, I don't think anyone want to hear your voice right now. They want to hear just me and Goons. Okay. So Goons, give it a response.
Apollo, he was trying to save you, dog. I don't know. He's so socially inept.
Goons, go ahead. Give a response,
the question,
you wanted the
question was, what do you think the theses are that compose minimal realism?
It's going to be the semantic thesis and the alethetic thesis.
Wait, hold on. What do you think the alethetic thesis is?
The alethetic thesis is just saying that some moral propositions are true.
Okay, and then are they going to be true in virtue of sense-independent reasons?
What does that mean?
You don't know what a sense-independent reason is?
I know every single thing that you're saying means insofar as the definiendums you're using. I just don't know what you mean by the entire sentence itself when you combine these definiendums.
Yeah, is one of the theses that are in minimal realism that one statement, at least...
I think what you're asking me right here is like my true theory.
Wait, hold on. Is it going to be true in virtue of a sense-independent reason?
So you're asking me for my true theory, basically.
No. Are you okay?
You're asking me for the truth-making conditions for the proposition.
Are you impaired right now?
Are you retarded?
No, are you impaired?
If you're asking someone what are the propositions are going to be true in virtue of, that's you asking them for the truth-making conditions for those propositions.
Now you're stuttering and stumbling because you know you're wrong. So I've clarified for you on the thing that you're wrong about. And then once I clarified that you were wrong about it, all you did was say that it's not relevant.
You think you asking someone about what something is true in virtue of is not a question about truth-making conditions?
You realized, holy shit, I'm a retard. That's obviously relevant to the conversation. And now you can't answer my question.
Okay, so I was just going to keep on nigga battling because he's not even tracking the conversation. It's like usually in philosophical discourses, right, when someone is asking another person about what something is true in virtue of, they're asking for the truth-making conditions. Do you get that, autistic bimbo?
Yeah, obviously, retard. Did you hear my question, though?
Okay.
Hello? Where'd you go?
I'm hearing you.
Yeah, did you hear my question?
Of course I did.
What was the question?
Seems as if someone had to pull out the loud mic because you get rhetorically dominated.
Yeah, well, because you're talking over me like a retard. So now that you can't talk over me like a retard, and since the last time you got fucking eviscerated that you couldn't talk over me like a retard, do you remember what the question was?
The entire time, people said you looked
The entire time? Do you remember what the question was, retard?
Of course I did.
Okay, what's the question? Go ahead.
The question was, in virtue of what are these propositions going to be true in?
Okay, and then do you remember what this tied into?
Yup.
What was it?
It tied into the elite thesis, which is that...
No, it didn't tie into the... No, you're a retard. This is another tracking error from you. Obviously not, and now you're spurring because you realize you're wrong. This is why no amount of preparation could have saved you from this fucking loss right now, Apollo. You're getting embarrassed already. So, when I brought up the elethic thesis, that was after I asked the question, retard. Now he's stumped. Now he's stunlocked again.
Pure retarded. You asked the question after I brought it daily.
No, I asked the question a long time ago, which is why I had to tie it back in for you because you're a retard.
You literally asked me for like the...
Have you been like breathing through your mouth since the last time I talked to you? Have you just like lost all your fucking brain cells? Now you're co-laughing because you know you're wrong and a retard. Can you answer my question now?
You're like losing rhetorical points.
Dude, you're like losing rhetorically. Everyone thinks you're getting bodied right now. Literally everyone thinks you're getting bodied right now. Do you want to answer my question now?
Who's everyone?
Everyone in the VC.
Last time you said this, the
last time you said this, literally everyone agreed with me. Now answer my question.
What's the evidence for that?
Do you have like an inability? Yeah, the evidence again is everyone that's not retarded, that's socially aware, can recognize everybody else's opinion, which is that you're a retard and you can't answer my question. Can you answer my question now?
Oh.
He actually can't do it. I'm not even sure if he can hold more than 10 words in his head at once. I'm actually unconvinced of that.
Oh, really?
He's actually that. Oh, really? That's the best you have?
They're really basic point.
This is the person that's supposed to be the Warren Buffett of debating. He's supposed to be so good. You know you're supposed to win this, right? You know you came in here to challenge me, and then you ended up looking retarded, right?
Oh my god, this is so irrelevant to the discussion. Can you guys?
Yeah, it obviously is. That's why he's not answering the question. Answer the question now.
Actually, did I look retarded?
Exactly. Answer my question, retard.
Answer my question.
Yes, he needs a moderator. He's getting fucking annihilated right now.
I don't think so.
He said yes, Shinra moderator.
If he starts not micing and he's drowning me, then sure. You're trying to be a moderator when there's no loud mic. And in fact, you're interrupting the conversation.
Shinra, just no. Let me keep pressing him. He's already getting shit on him right now. Let me just like wrap up this L that he's like absolutely getting. He's just like eating it like a burrito. He's eating the fucking L right now. So Apollo, do you remember what the question was?
I just told you.
You didn't just tell me. Everyone just heard you not tell. Like he did. All right. I just want to bring attention to this. Every single time he knows he's lost, he postures like he just answered the question. When everyone in here just heard him not answer the question. So I'll ask you again, retard. Do you remember what the question was? And if you actually affirm that you remember what the question was, what do you think the question was, retard?
I thought you wanted to hear the question.
Yes, good job. You finally come to the conversation. Jesus. It's like 1100 ping to the brain, max ping.
It's so fucking retarded. Like
it's so fucking retarded that as soon as the time it takes to get from your head to your fucking mouth, every word gets fucked up.
So the question, hold on, I'm still speaking.
You're stumbling again.
You asked me.
You're stuttering.
Was simply in virtue of what?
You stuttered.
You just stuttered a while ago. That's crazy.
Oh, you said I stuttered, but I did not. Good job. Good one. You're really witty.
That's so the question.
Yeah, what do you think the question was?
The first question you asked me was like the thesis of like minimal Warren realism, and the second question was related to the idea, which is simply like virtue of thought or proposition to be true under the minimal moral realist view, which is a question towards the alethetic thesis. So when you're going to say that did not tie back into the alethetic thesis, that's just you showing your lack of cognitive ability.
No, I asked you what proposition did you think that it tied into. I obviously granted it ties into that, retard. I asked you what proposition do you think it tied into, and it's obviously the one that you said was irrelevant. Do you remember what you called irrelevant, Apollo? Apollo?
Okay, so in other words, your brain is...
Yeah, do you remember what you called irrelevant earlier?
I remember it.
Yeah, what was it?
Do you not remember what I said?
You're taking another optics loss on that? Jesus Christ. Did you just want to lose today? Did you wake up wanting to lose?
Do you ask people questions?
Do we answer questions? Apparently not, retard. You can't answer questions, can you?
It seems as if every time
it seems as if you're a fucking retard. Now answer my question.
Just ask me what...
Yes, I asked a relevant question, and you can't answer it because you're not tracking the conversation. You again are making vacuous claims, and when it's time to actually stand up and defend them, you get bitched every single time, and now you're schizobabbling in the background because you can't answer my question. Are you willing to answer my question now?
Part of the conversation.
I don't even have to try to win rhetorically. He just loses on his own. He just does all of the heavy lifting throughout the course of the conversation to look terrible. He can't answer the question. Yeah, we know you're not trying, retard. We all know you're not trying because you look retarded right now. Do you want to answer my question now? Answer my question, retard.
Who said that was okay?
Answer my question.
Answer the question.
You're losing your rhetorical sharpness as he did it again. He did the meme. He did the meme. He just lied about answering the question again. Oh my god. Wait, Apollo. You know that people can watch the recording back, right? You know they can just watch the recording back the question. We all just saw you answer the question. And now you're just lying. You know we can just watch this back, right? You know you can't just get away with lying when it's recorded. You know you can't just get away with being a retard when I'm in the VC, right? You know you can't just make vacuous claims when I'm also in the VC, right? You know you can't just say infinitely retarded shit without getting dunked on. Because you're getting dunked on right now. That's what's happening to you. Do you want to answer my question now? He's stun-locked again. He has nothing. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, Apollo. Right on fucking schedule. Apollo cucks the fuck down because he can't respond to me anymore. Jesus. I didn't mean to rhetorically dominate him like this. Oh my god. Do you want to Frankenstein together a couple more responses, Apollo, before you leave, or you just gonna run off like a coward? Okay. Jesus, he's actually cucking so hard right now. He's scared of me. You try to save him, bro.